poet. Now, here I also discussed about metaphor. To the food from its child. Here, food is used metaphorically. You know, it is a metaphor used to describe journey of life. So here, food means journey of life. Food is a metaphor used to the child's journey in this life, you know, starting from its birth, then its adulthood, till the end, that is death. So this journey of a child, it is described in this poem using food as a metaphor, comparison. Journey is compared to food. Food we used to walk, right? So walk itself in a way could be considered as a journey. So here, to the food from its child. Poet is talking about a child and its journey. How a child dreams. What are its dreams? What does it want to become in future? But what happens in this society? How does it grow? What will be there in its childhood and what happens in adulthood and death. The child's food is not yet aware of its food and would like to be a butterfly or an apple. The child's food. The child is not yet aware of its journey, which means its future. It doesn't know anything about its own food, which means it doesn't know anything about where it will be in future, where it walks, where it will reach, what is its destiny, what happens. It doesn't know anything about its life. The child's food, the child's life is not yet aware of it, is not yet aware it is a food. So it is not yet aware about its journey and would like to be a butterfly or an apple. The child dreams a lot. The child which is not aware of its food, which doesn't know that its food is just a food, is dreaming about its future. It dreams of becoming a butterfly, also an apple. You know, we can consider this as dream versus reality. I can dream of becoming a butterfly. Can I? No, I can't. So child here, unaware of the world's reality, unaware of the society, is dreaming. It is dreaming to become a butterfly, which means a bird that can fly freely anywhere. A bird which has no restrictions. So the child dreams to become a butterfly or an apple. An apple, fruit that leaves on branches of trees without any restrictions again. So these natural things, they live happily. There are no restrictions. There is no one to restrict them, to question them. So just like that, child also wants to become a butterfly or an apple. But the child's food is not yet aware it is a food. The child is not yet aware that its food is just a food. Like its journey will be based on society. Its journey will be like a restricted one. It won't be like that of a butterfly or an apple. But in time, stones, bits of glass, streets, ladders and the paths in the rough earth go on teaching the food that it cannot fly. So as life goes on, though the child dreams of becoming a butterfly and an apple, as it moves forward, as the journey continues, all these things, stones, bits of glass, streets, ladders and the paths in the rough earth, all these are representing our harsh society. Stones ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮುಳ್ಳಿನ ದಾರಿ ಅಂತ, ಆ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಏನೇ ಕನ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಾರ್ಶ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಹಾರ್ಶ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಲಿರುವಂಥ ಈ ಕಲ್ಲು ಮುಳ್ಳು ದಾರಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, this will teach the child that it cannot fly. So what are the things that we teach? Stones, bits of glasses, ಗಾಜಿನ ಚೂರುಗಳು, streets, ಅದು ನಡೆಯೋ ದಾರಿಗಳು, ladders, ಏಣಿಗಳು, paths in the rough earth. Look at this. The poet says rough earth, which means the earth is not delicate enough to handle a child. The earth is already very hard, very harsh. The society is very harsh. So in this society, in this rough path, in this bits of glasses, streets, ladders, the earth filled with stones, the child ultimately will learn, will realize that it cannot fly. It can only walk in the path that society chooses. It cannot fly, so it cannot become a butterfly. Also, the child cannot be a fruit bulging on the branch. Bulging, a fruit that expands, ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಮರದಲ್ಲಿ. So harsh reality of the society, all the stones, path, rough path, everything will teach it that it cannot fly, so cannot become a butterfly. Also, it cannot become an apple. It cannot become a fruit bulging on the branch. Then the child's food is defeated. So whenever there is this word used, food, think of it immediately as journey of life. So metaphorically, here food refers to journey of life. So the child's food is defeated, falls in the battle, is a prisoner condemned to live in a shoe. At last, the reality teaches the child everything. The food is also taught with a lesson that it cannot fly nor become an apple. Also, it is defeated, falls in the battle. Here, battle could be our life journey. So, in this life journey, the food is defeated. The child's dreams, the child dreams about its future, everything is defeated. So, it falls in its journey, condemned to live in a shoe like a prisoner. ಒಬ್ಬ ಕೈದಿ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಶೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬದುಕಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಶೂ here could be the poet could be referring to society. So in this society or in this shoe, like imagine a foot inside a shoe. Can that foot see anything when it's inside a shoe? No, it cannot. Everything will be very dark. And can it walk freely? No, it has to be inside, within that shoe, which means it is like a prisoner. So we can consider this as, or we should refer to this to child's journey. It is made to live in a shoe like a prisoner. It is condemned, it is imprisoned to live inside that shoe. Or like, the society which forces kid to take up responsibilities. The society that teaches the child to live like a prisoner without questioning anything. Bit by bit, in that dark, it grows to know the world in its own way, out of touch with its fellow, enclosed, feeling out like a blind man. So look at this, bit by bit, slowly, gradually, the child realizes, inside, living inside that shoe, living in that harsh society, within that society, it realizes, it gets to know more about this world. It gets to know more about how the world is run, what are its ways. Out of touch with its fellow, enclosed, confined, like being closed within a particular area, that is shoe, feeling out life like a blind man. So once the child grows, all its dreams are shattered. The life, the reality teaches the child everything. It starts to live within that enclosed area, within that shoe, within the boundary that society has set. And then slowly it gets to know more about this world. It realizes how the ways of world, and then it itself gets adjusted. The child doesn't question, the child doesn't try to bring change, but it becomes one in that society. It becomes one among such people. It starts to learn the ways of world and lives like a blind man. ಕುರುಡರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣ್ರೂ ಅದು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಈ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ನೋಡಿ ತುಂಬ ಕಲಿಯುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಜಗತ್ತು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕಲಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ನಂತರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಲೀವ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್. ಇಟ್ ಫಾಲೋಸ್ ದ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಬೈ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಹೇಗೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಅದು ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಮಗು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರೋದೇ ಅದು. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ನ ಅದು ಲಿಟ್ರಲ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರು, ಫುಟ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಓಕೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಪಾದ, ಶೂ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಕಾಲಿಗೆ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಬೇರೆನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪೊಯೆಟು ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮೆಟಾಫರಿಕಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆನೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಿಸ್ತಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಟು ದ ಫುಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಜೀವ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಮಗು ಅದರ ಜರ್ನಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಜರ್ನಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಪೊಯೆಟ್ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಫುಡ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಆ ಫುಡ್ನ ಒಂದು ಶೂ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೂ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ಫುಡ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಜರ್ನಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಕನ್ಫೈನ್ಡ್ ವಿತಿನ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬೌಂಡರಿ. ಈ ಬೌಂಡರಿನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶೂ ಅನ್ನು ಅವನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಪೊಯೆಟ್. So his journey is confined. The child's journey is enclosed. It has to live within that boundary. So the food here is put inside a shoe. It cannot dream. It cannot become whatever it wants to. It can only become what the society expects. It can only become what, if it follows the ways of this world. So here this journey is set within a boundary, which means the food is put inside shoe. Now it is completely blind. It cannot see anything. It is out of touch with its fellow. So we have two foods. The one foot is put inside a shoe. Now it cannot see anything. Also it's pair of another foot. It cannot see anything. So it is like a blind man. These soft nails of quartz bunched together grow hard, change themselves. Soft nails of quartz. Quartz is nothing but a solid kind of a mineral bunched together. Soft nails. Imagine a child's nail. Imagine a child's foot. It will be very small, very soft. So this soft nails of that child, as it grows, become very hard. It changes. ಅವು ಆ ಪಾದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಜರ್ನಿ ಆಸ್ ವಿ ಗ್ರೋ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್. ಇಟ್ ಗ್ರೋಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಒಪೇಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಾನ್ಸ್, ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆರ್ ಒಪೇಕ್ ನಾನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪರೆಂಟ್. ಲೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಆರ್. ಒಂದು ಕೊಂಬನಷ್ಟು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಅದು ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫುಡ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ tiny little soft nails. It becomes very hard, which means though it is soft, the reality teaches it everything. The reality teaches the child to grow hard without any dreams, without any feelings. So the nails, they change into very hard substance, very hard thing like ore. And the tiny petal toes of the child grow bunched out of trim. So it's tiny petal, petal like toes ಕಾಲ್ಬೆರಳುಗಳು. ಸೊ ಪೆಟಲ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಕಾಲ್ಬೆರಳುಗಳನ್ನ. His toes, which are like petals, which means that soft, that delicate, grow out of trim. They grow bunched. ಒಂದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮೃದು, ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ದಳಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುವಂಥ ಕಾಲ್ಬೆರಳುಗಳು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಗೊಂಚಲು. They grow like bunch and out of trim, out of shape. Take on the form of eyeless reptile with triangular heads like worms. Look at this. The poet is considering his toes to eyeless reptiles and its heads to triangular heads like worms. So the toes, they take shape of a triangular head like worm, and the poet is comparing them to reptiles. So here we can say it could be a snake, it could be a worm, it could be anything. So it is out of shape. It becomes like a reptile, poisonous. No, kind-heartedness. There is no feelings. There are no emotions. It simply becomes very hard, just like reptiles, with triangular head like worm. And what has taught all this to child? What taught the child that it cannot dream, it cannot become whatever it wants to, it cannot become butterfly, apple. What it fits inside this shoe. Once it is inside the shoe, it is separated from its another foot. It is blind. Its toes out of trim. They grow out of trim. The smooth foot. It is now just like reptiles. So later they grow calloused and are covered with the faint volcanoes of death, a cautioning hard to accept. Calloused again, hard. They grow hard. They are covered with volcanoes of death, faint volcanoes, the tortures that the child has to go throughout his journey. A cautioning hard to accept. This hard change is very difficult, very tough to accept. So the child now is completely out of shape. It lives inside that shoe like a blind man. It follows the rules set by society. It lives inside that boundary. And now the volcanoes of death, all the tortures, all the difficulties that he faced in his life is very, very hard to accept. It is very unacceptable. So this is the journey from dreaming to adjusting itself to the ways of world. The life of a child has come till here. But what happens next? What about its adulthood and death? We'll discuss that in our next class. Thank you.